It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Hello and welcome to the Northwoods Cooking Show. I'm your host, Uncle Roy, and this is my lovely assistant, Miss Kelly Ellis. Oh, here she comes. I got a two, I can't. Double twos. Get over here and sit pretty for everybody. Say hello, hello, hello. You gotta turn around, face the camera in position. Got big sticks here and toys all over the yard. Anyway, on today's episode, we're gonna do some container gardening. And the reason being is because coming up this week, so by the taping, this is gonna be about a month later, a month and a half. Today's June 10th. And this Wednesday is due for my Hennepin County Fair, so I've been baking up a storm like crazy. And I always do container gardening. I enter that category for the sweepstakes. And they have one on a vegetable container, a flower container, and an herb container. And today we're going to be putting them together. And this is going to be for my herb. Look at this little purse. Isn't that just cute? Oh, it's cuter than a Bug's Ear. This is going to be adorable. I'm going to put my herbs in there. And I'm going to put my flowers in this container that says popcorn on it. Yeah, that'll be real cute. And then I'm going to put my vegetables in this container. Now, what we're going to have to do first is with our containers, you want to make sure you have drainage. It's so important to have drainage. If you don't, it's going to kill the flowers. And in competition, if you don't have drainage, you're out the window. They don't even judge you then. They don't even look at it, whatever. It's gone. So these don't have any holes in it, so I need to take and drill some holes. So we're going to take and just put in about 5 holes in the bottom here. You want to get one in each of the corners. And then we'll put one in the center then too. And so that way the water can drain out. And then of course you got to have good drainage. Besides the holes, we're going to put gravel in there too. So now I'm going to have to take and put holes in these. And this is going to be the same principle, same places too. We're going to do 5 holes, 1 in each corner, and then 1 in the center. And some of these containers that don't have the holes in it already have indentations where the holes are supposed to be. They just never punched them out. So that's going to work out just fine. Now the purse didn't have any holes. So I'm going to have to drill these in through the bottom. And there's a plastic container that's lined in here. And I want to make sure we have holes in this too. And now this slips right inside the purse. And all this purse is, it's just a cardboard purse. And it's glued moss, the Irish moss, you just take and glue it on. So you can do this yourself too, make anything. You can even take, which would be hysterical, is to take old high heel shoes, get some of the moss and just glue that all over them. Oh, it'd be hysterical. She told me that they were going to be doing high heels. And I just thought that would be, people would just buy them up like crazy. They go nuts. So now that we got the holes and everything, next we need to put in our gravel. Got a cut. Okay, so now that we got the holes all drilled, now we need to put in some gravel or sand or rocks, whatever you can for drainage on the bottom. Now I got this little rocks here. We're going to put these in the bottom of the purse. And what that does is for the drainage, it's going to allow the water to seep through the dirt and then over the rocks, so that it will go through the holes then much easier. If it was just solid dirt over the holes, the water will come through eventually, but it might sit there a long time and then you're going to get root rot. So you want to make sure you have good drainage on the bottom. So you can put gravel or rocks. And sometimes on your larger containers, because you don't have a lot of rocks, I'm putting these larger ones into these larger containers, just overlapping each other too, so they're not all flat, but they can sit on top of each other. And these are going to be good, like I said, for drainage. Just put in the rocks. And what you can also do is we all have these left over from our plants. You can just take and crunch these up if you want and put those in the bottom. And what they do is going to fill up airspace in the pot. And that way you don't have to take and fill in a lot of dirt. Now, if you have large containers, great big ones, sometimes I even take empty flower pots and stick them in upside down inside the containers and then put my dirt on top. You know, rocks on the bottom, etc. But by putting in these larger empty pots, that's going to fill up more space, so you don't have to take and fill those big, huge, large containers all the way to the top with dirt. That's too expensive and they get so heavy. So you want to make sure that when you do larger containers, to put it in the spot where you want it to be. Because once it's filled, it's going to be heavy, and with water, it's going to be even heavier. So you want to do all your filling on site to where you want to have those large containers to be, because you're not going to be able to move them once they're full. So we got some of these in there. Let's put one in here. And then what I got in here is my garden potting soil, which has vermiculite in it and all your fertilizer, slow fertilizer release, etc. But what I did is emptied out from last year's old, and then I take and I added some new to it, and then toss it like a salad, mix it together so you get better nutrients into that dirt. You don't want to use the same old dirt because the plants that were in it from last year took all the nutrients out. So you still have dirt, but there's no vitamins or minerals to feed the plants. It's just plain dirt without any nutrients. So you got to add new to it. So just take them out, mix it up. That's why I have a larger container here that I can mix everything in. And then just add some new soil to it. That way we're going to have better fertilized plants, healthier plants, or you can just use all brand new soil if you want to. But this way, you don't have to spend so much money, and you can save. Kelly, I got your sticks all over the way here. I'm tripping. Oh, trouble. She's got her sticks, and she loves playing with her sticks, causing trouble. Yeah. So we're going to fill these up here. And there's some slow release fertilizer. They got those little tiny round beads. Another thing too is they got these beads called polymers. And what they do is they absorb water and they retain it for a long period of time and slowly release, so that when it's really hot and dry out, you don't have to take and water your plants as often. But the thing with those is you can just buy them, just a little jar of all these polymers in there, just these little beads that absorb water. Just ask your greenhouse people, where to get them, your lawn and garden people. They have the polymers on for sale. But what you want to do is throw those into a bowl of water so they're completely soaked with water. Then put those polymers into your dirt here, the big pot, mix them together, and then fill up your containers. You want to fill with water because if you put them in dry and then add water, they will absorb that water, and then they swell up, and then all your dirt pours out over your container, and you get it all over your deck or patio or whatever. So we want to make sure that those polymers are pre-soaked in water first before adding them to the soil. Now let's see, we just got to put in our little Percy. Oh, the little purse, Kelly. Oh, how cute. Isn't that just lovely? Yeah. I did one of these for my friend Diane And we did impatiens in it. That way she don't have to keep it out on the patio in the full sun, because she don't have full sun at her place. And so by having the impatiens and with, with the shade plants, so it works just perfect. And I just want to make sure that the liner is spread open so that dirt fills up inside instead of on the outside. And we don't need to fill it up completely because we're going to put in the plants. We've got to have some space there. So we can always take and fill in afterwards. So now, let's see, popcorn, that's going to be flowers. This brown one's going to be my vegetable, and the purse will be herbs. So let's do some herbs. Now, in container gardening, the thing to look for, well, there's different ways of saying it, but it's corny, but it works. They call them a thriller, a filler, and a spiller. In other words, you want something high, something medium to stay in the container, and then you want something to hang down to grow over. So that's what you want to have in your containers. So what I'm going to do is I got some catnip here. Oh, kitty nip. Oh. I can't see your expression, Callie. Say the word kitty and she was crazy. I don't need all of this, but I want to get enough in there. Get this into my container. Yeah, that's my catnip. And then I want something of medium height. And for this one, I got some regular mint. Mint mojito. This is mint. But this is going to be more medium height. Oh, I can smell it. It smells pretty. And then we'll get that in on this side. I want to make sure now I get it inside that liner and not on the outside edge. Gotta be careful with that. Ooh, that's going in there nice. Snug. Remember, these mint and catnip are perennials. So after the person's over with, you can just throw it out in the garden. It'll grow out in your garden too. Come back next year. And then in the middle, this one I've got is some oregano. Oh, got a plane flying over, Kelly. We got the Crystal Airport right over here. So now this is going to be my spiller. This is the oregano, and this one I want to stick right in the center. And that one is packed in there. And now I can just take and rearrange this so that they spill out. Oh, it smells so pretty. The oregano and the mint. Mmm. Now this will be my herb container for competition. Get that down so it stands up straighter. There we go. And then we'll just take and water it. Now we'll go on to the vegetable one. This one I'm going to take and do kind of like a salsa in a container. Because for here I've got Roma tomatoes. And I want to put this towards the back of the container because this is going to get rather tall. But I want the Roma tomatoes because they're more meatier. And with your tomatoes, you can take and bury those up to, or even cover up to that, the first branch that comes out. And then for the filler, I've got jalapeno peppers. Now I want to take and put these stickers, so I can stick those into the container so the judges will know what I have growing. And then I've got some gourds here for my spiller. And these will take and grow out and down onto the ground or on your table, wherever you happen to be having your container. Then, for the popcorn, we're going to take and put my flowers in the popcorn container. And to make it even more festive, the flowers that I picked are colors of popcorn, kind of like white and buttered popcorn, so it's going to look like popcorn in the top of the container. I thought that would be kind of cute. So I got some vanilla marigolds. So this will be the white. And also too, now remember when you're planting your plants out of these packets, to break up the roots on the bottom, because they've been in there for a while and they're all root bound, and so they need some space to grow. So you want to take and move those around, break those up. And then I'll just put in the filler, which are sapphire, yellow fire marigolds. Now this is going to be like buttered popcorn. And these are going to fit into the filler in the middle here. These are going to be pretty. Remember to break those roots up. And then for my spiller. Oh, the tag that wasn't on this one, I forgot what it was. Oh. Anyway. We want this in the front. And then I can just take and fill in with dirt all around the plants. There we go. So we have the vegetable, herb, and the flowers. And these are going to be really cute. Now I also have my water-soluble fertilizer, my Miracle-Gro, and we're going to water these up. And like I said, you want to be a little bit careful. This one here doesn't have a whole lot of room, so you don't want to really I'm gonna be a little careful. And you can see where the water's coming out the bottom. Got the drainage. It's working. That's the first thing the judges are going to do. They're going to pick up your containers and look on the bottom to see if there's drainage. That's always the first thing they do. And then I'm just going to let these sit out overnight so that they get used to the outdoors, so they harden off. And after they get all settled, then I can just touch up with more soil on top. Or you can even take and put on some mulch if you wanted to. I could probably put mulch on the vegetables because there's a lot of empty space underneath the brush. That'll be nice. Then when they all dried off, then I can take a towel and wipe them off and make them really nice and shiny and pretty and clean. Because they want to make sure you want to make sure that they're nice and clean too. And let's see, Callie. Oh, you're napping in the shades. Oh. We're going to need a couple of sticks for the tomato plants. We can have some stakes. We're going to need stakes for those, and then I'll just tie those up with some twisties. Remember, I always say those twisties, they come in handy. And let's see, these are going to be the jalapenos and the aromas. And the gourd. My hands all muddy now, but I have to wait till everything dries so then I can wipe off everything so they're nice and clean. But there you get the idea of what we're doing. Something tall, something in the middle, and then something to hang over. There's a tall, middle, and the hangovers, hanging over the middle and the tall. And this is really cute for the popcorn. I think that's gonna be real pretty with the popcorn colors. So we hope you enjoy the containers and have fun with these. And this is the vegetable container. We got the aromas in the back, jalapenos in the middle, and then the gourds in the front, and they're going to spill over. Next to it, we have the purse, where we have the herb garden. And we started out with the catnip on the left, oregano in the middle, and mint on the right. And then our festive little popcorn container. We have vanilla marigolds in the back. We have the starfire marigolds in the center. And then we have the spiller with the bright yellow flowers going down. So this is, hopefully these will be winners, Callie. They are pretty. Well, Callie, did you have fun today? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chasing squirrels. Yeah. Well, we had fun today, and I hope you got some ideas for your containers too. Just always remember the thriller, something tall, the filler, something to stand up in the middle, and then the spiller, something to hang over. And you can't go wrong. It makes everything balance out just fine. So I hope you enjoy those, and keep the same ideas. Large containers or the smallest container, it doesn't matter. Just the same principles will help you out a lot. So Callie, let's see who wrote us this week. Oh. Get in positions. Oh, treats. Treat, here, sit pretty. I'm not going to give it to you just for laying on the job. No. Oh, it's close as you got. Oh, here's your face. Dear Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, I was wondering what was wrong with my hostas this year. I had one called the Empress Wu, and it didn't sprout. Did I do something wrong? Signed, Dan of Osseo, Minnesota. Oh, thanks, Dan. No, you didn't. Hostas, you can't go wrong with hostas. They come up year after year. I did find out though from one of my friends who owns a greenhouse, and she was telling me, because I had the same problem too with one of my hostas, and she said there was nothing wrong with your hostas. It was we had a very bad wet winter this year. It was very severe, and it had killed off a lot of plants that were planted new last year. A lot of them didn't take, and because of the harsh winter. I even remember out at one of my gardens, at the first one, and we have these, or they have, excuse me, the creeping juniper that comes down over the walls and cascade. Is just gorgeous. Well, this year, about a third of it, I had to trim out a lot of burnt pieces out of there. There was a lot of dead branches hanging in there. And I thought it looked like somebody poured salt over it or something. And I was like, oh, what damage there was to it. And the owner, Kathy, from Butterfly Gardens that I go to in Maple Grove, she said that it was a very harsh winter and a lot of plants died off over the winter. She lost quite a few of her hydrangea bushes. So you did plant everything accordingly, and even if you make mistakes planting hostas, they come up no matter what. They grow in the worst soil in the world, so you can't really kill off a hosta. But it was a harsh winter, and so the temperatures and the wind, especially the wind, took and damaged a lot of plants last year. So don't feel bad. It happened to a lot of people this year. So I hope that answers your questions, and I hope you have better luck next year. And I hope you saved your receipts too, because most garden places will give you a guarantee for up to a year if you still have the receipt. And I know I got mine from my hostas too somewhere, because I keep all my receipts in a separate little bag. Anyway, so I hope that answers your questions, Dan, and we hope you have better luck this year and next year. So for Miss Kelly and myself, look at her. You're already snoozing on the job. You ain't nothing. We want to say, be healthy, be safe, and spread the sunshine. Oh, say goodbye, Miss Kelly Ellis. Oh. Bye-bye, thank you.